Come on in so you could participate and learn from this healing conversation between two women.
Okay. Well, Ursurlette, I'm so glad we're taking this opportunity to get together to discuss various ways, like maybe about 10 tips and what we did in order to heal as women from serious things, such as maybe if you had a disease process diagnosis, if you were suffering any type of trauma in your early childhood, or various things that women are confronted with on a daily basis. And so I thought this was a really good idea for you and I to get together to collaborate and share what we have found that has worked in order to help us heal so that we can help others heal.
I think that's a great idea, and you're right. And I'm honored to be here. So I appreciate you inviting me to the video so I can share some of my strategies that I've used to help myself heal.
Okay. And so what we decided we were going to do, Ursurlette, is talk about 10 topics. And so I'm going to do 5 and you're going to do 5. So what we might do is just list what they all are at one time, and then we'll take over the different ones that we're doing. Does that sound okay? Okay.
Sounds great.
Yep. So the 5 topics that I've decided to discuss, one is journaling. The other one is DIY projects. The other one is animal therapy, developing a mantra, and then self-care being a must-care. Those are the 5 that I'll discuss.
Okay, awesome. So the 5 that I wanted to discuss is faith, building a faith relationship, a positive support system, staying active, setting boundaries, and always listening to your inner voice.
Okay. And it seems like they are complementary topics, that they can go hand in hand to really help give somebody a better springboard or foundation to healing and moving forward. So just to start it off, for me, I know it was in my early youth, like I must say, it started in 3rd grade with journaling. I had a teacher that was very into journaling. And so that was one of the things that she encouraged us to do. And so I've been journaling all my life ever since then. And one of the things that I found is that you want to sort of let your personality come out. Got this one, that's sort of a Marvel one. And you can find them at places like Target, your Ross, your Marshalls, and they don't cost a lot of money, and a lot of times I've heard people say, well, journaling, I'm not a writer. Well, one of the things that I've encouraged them to do, start simple. You can start simple by just doing a gratitude journal, writing down 1 to maybe 5 things that you're grateful for every day. And that can be a springboard to you writing out longer thoughts, longer ideas. And so it doesn't have to be this complicated thing. Oh, I'm not a writer and I'm nervous. You just write your thoughts down. And so I thought that was a good way to start, by starting with a gratitude journal. The next thing is DIY projects. And one of the things that I love to do is coloring. And this was a 2 for 1. So this is a coloring book, but it's also a journal. Yeah. So, you can color your pages, jot your thoughts down. And so this is a 2 for 1. But in addition to coloring, I also do, it's called diamond painting. You take these little crystals and it's sort of like a paint by number concept. Rock painting. There are so many different DIY projects, but I found for me, allowing my creativity to come through in those projects has helped me to feel stronger and have a more positive mindset. And then my 3rd thing, I was going to talk about animal therapy. Now, I do have a kitty. I will try to have a picture of her and when I do my thumbnail, but that is so expressive, because when you nurture and take care of, even if it's not an animal, a plant, it helps you to be positive because you're giving love, and they give you love back in return. And also, even if you are a person, I've found, that are in a situation where you can't house an animal, maybe your apartment complex won't let you have one. The other thing is you can just do research projects on it. Just looking up about different animals, learning about their behaviors and the different antics that they do, again, can boost your mood. And the other thing that I decided is develop a mantra. You know, I think that is so important. And the mantra I developed, this is what it says: I am splendid because I was born to blossom through adversity. I saw that mantra years ago in a Marshall's on a frame, and it just spoke to me. And so I've used it as my mantra for years. And I often joke with some of my girlfriends, I should be a blooming greenhouse because of the different adversities that I've been through, but I continue to bloom through it. And so find yourself a positive mantra and write it down. Write it down every day. Speak it to yourself every day. That's positive reinforcement that, again, has made me feel better, feel stronger, and have more clarity in my mind. And then the last thing is self-care is a must-care. And you know what? This is going to maybe be surprising to you, but one of the easy first ways that I decided I needed some self-care was financially. So this is a journal about a spending log, because oftentimes when we are stressed because of maybe a disease process or some type of trauma, if you ever notice, we go on those highs and lows when it comes to spending. We can do erratic spending and we end up in a whole lot of debt. And half the time we don't even want the stuff that we got. So one of the ways to show yourself self-care is to get in check financially. And so this little journal is something that has helped me. So those are the 5 areas that oh no, that wasn't 5, that was 4. I'm sorry. Oh no, I think that's right. Was that 5?
Yep.
Yes, I'm sorry. So yeah, those are my 5 areas that have helped me to this point.
Well, I think that's awesome, and great minds think alike, and some of our stuff is kind of going to overlap. So that's awesome. Reinforcement. You can't hear good stuff too many times, I always say. So my first thing that really helped me out, first of all, I always share with people that I am a child with a parent that suffered from alcohol abuse syndrome. And before I started into the field of my study, which is counseling, mental health counseling, I used to always say I was a child of an alcoholic, which has a very negative stench to it.
Mm-hmm.
And through growing and learning the different types of therapy that I've learned in school, I've learned to rephrase that. And it doesn't have quite the sting to it. So that's kind of like that's a bonus thing that just, the Lord just dropped in my spirit. So therefore, that was a huge eye opener, shifting that negative, because it wasn't anything that I did. I didn't suffer from it. My father suffered from it. And at the time, there wasn't the help that it is now, that people can go and get help for. So I first had to learn to reframe that. My biggest, from the time I was a small child, my biggest component that I leaned on was faith. My grandmother instilled in me at a very early age about praying, the benefits of prayer, and being able to build a relationship with a higher power. And, everybody has a different name for that. I call him Jesus, my Lord and Savior. You can call him whatever you want. The point is it's nice to be able to go to a higher power and to just lay down all your burdens with no judgment and no ramifications of somebody pointing a finger back at you what you should be doing or should have done. Yeah. So that has always been a huge part in my life. The other thing is arming myself with a good, strong support system. And you have to have 2 support systems, a layer of support system that you develop for yourself, that to make sure that you are always pouring into you as an individual. And then the second layer of that support system is making sure you are surrounding yourself with the right people. Mm-hmm. So the first layer is all about developing a morning routine that you arm yourself before you go out into the world. So one of the things that I enjoy doing every morning, I get up after my shower and stuff, is I have a morning time of devotion and prayer to where I pour into myself before people start taking things out. Because you step out the door and you really never know what you're going to face in today's world. So one of the many years ago, I've had this for, as you can see, the crease is almost wore out. I almost wore out in this particular. Every year I add a new devotional, but every year I do this devotional again over and over and over each year. And the thing I love about it is I'm in the business industry, and it's a 1-minute devotional that really helps you see scripture from a business perspective and how you can guide your business scripturally. So that's always helpful. And then the other one that I've added this year is the Battlefoot of the mind, because as you know, if you went through anything, if you don't have the right mindset, nothing good comes,
Right.
so you can't have 5 strategies without talking a little bit about your mindset. So
Right.
those are some ways that you can build your self system, because there's not always going to be somebody around you to lift you up. So you have to be able to learn to lift yourself and pour into yourself
Right.
sometimes as well. So then you want to look at, the people that you're associating with. Are those people positive, motivational, and uplifting people? If not, you want to maybe start to look for people that are more positive and motivating, uplifting, and people that don't let you wallow in your pity. I have a really good friend, and she always says, okay, I'm setting the timer. You got 2 minutes. You can whine for 2 minutes, but you better get it out in those 2 minutes. And when it's done, it's done. So sometimes you have to just have that friend that'll listen, but also say, okay, now what? What are you going to do next? So that's 2, the support system. And 3 is staying active. An idle mind really is the devil's playground. So you want to be staying active, being involved in stuff, going out and helping other people, doing charitable work. Like you said, the DUI stuff is amazing. I love to color too. I didn't even think about that when I was like, I love to color too. And sometimes I find myself just grabbing my coloring book and just coloring. And that is like my Zen time. And everything else just peels away for me at that particular moment. So staying active is a good thing. And then also learning to set boundaries. The word no is not a bad word. When I was raising my kids, I have 2 girls and a boy. And we used to practice singing the no song. And it was the only word in the song was no. And it was really for my daughters, because I wanted them to get used to being in a situation with boys and being able to have that word at the ready,
Right.
and not being afraid to say the word no. So I made we all would practice the no song, and we'd say no, 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 and it was just a silly thing, and they still remember that. Being able to say the word no can be a very healing thing for you as an individual, and not having the guilt attached to that. So I challenge you to start singing your own no song, and you can sing in all different octaves, levels, mad, sad, happy. And then the last thing is really learning to listen to that inner voice. Sometimes you get that nudge in the pit of your stomach. And oftentimes, when I've not listened to that and gone against it, I've always ended up in a place I didn't want to end up. And so I think really learning to listen and validate that voice as it is a real thing, and to heed its caution has really helped me tremendously.
Well, I really can relate to some of the things that you said, and 2 things stand out to me. One, when you were saying being able to have that inner strength within yourself, because people may not always be around you. That is always one of the things that have worked for me, because I can recall people saying to me, well, how have you always kept a positive outlook? Because I've always had a project going on. I tell people, get a project. I have always had some kind of project going on in my life, because like you said, if others aren't around you, when you are absorbed in that project and stuff, the negative stuff is not in your head. You know, it's that, you know, and then the other thing that you just talked about is being able to say that no. And I can remember being put in positions in my life where I felt so uncomfortable. And because of that, but at that time, not having the courage, because really that's what it was, not having the courage and the strength to say, no, I'm not doing this, or you're making me feel uncomfortable. And now, you know, that I'm older, that I've done some of these processes in order to learn how to heal. Oh, you can't make me do nothing I do not want to do. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that is so empowering what you said, just even having that, what may seem silly to somebody else, that song with your girls, but they are more empowered than my generation was, because you know what I mean, to be able to, when it hits, because they will be confronted with it. It's just the nature of living, to be able, like you said, to have that response at the ready, because like I said, now nobody can make me do anything I don't want to do. But I remember those times when you felt so bad inside because you didn't want to do this, but it was like you were in an escape room and didn't know how to get out.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
I didn't think you had the power to even
right.
say, no, this is
right.
not what I want.
Right.
Yes. And that's the crippling part.
Yeah. So it's been very encouraging. You know, I really, you know, and that's amazing. Even just having an interchange like that, it reinforces the things personally that you're thinking, that you're doing to continue to help you, but to also want to help somebody else, you know. Yeah, because I look at where I am now from where I was before and where I want to go, because you still want to get stronger and stronger every day. And so, you know, and I think this was just a good assignment to have. And I love our topic because it's so many people, women particularly, that are trying to heal from so much, you know. And so if this little conversation can in some way, fashion, or help them heal or seek out help to heal, then it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the conversation and your time, and I hope somebody got something out of it. And no matter where, one thing I want to say, no matter where you are in life, always know you're not alone. There's somebody out there that has paved the way and gone ahead before you and have survived whatever it is that you have encountered. So you too can survive.
Yep. Great words to end this on, my darling. I really enjoyed this. This was a fascinating assignment. I really appreciated it. And I loved your insights. I did. I really appreciated that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, darling. Have a good one.
You too.